Hi, today's video is all about the Samyang VAF 75mm T1.9. So I've done a lot about these lenses and I thought I'd finish off the group of lenses I have with the 75mm. It's a very small lens, as you can see here, primarily made for video, 75mm T1.9. So it's got a very bright aperture. It's got one button and a switch, so the button you can change to anything you want. For example, I might have it as focus hold, or you can save a focus point, so you can hold down the button, save the focus point and switch it back to that any time. You can also have another button which has got 1 and 2 modes. You can also change it for that, so you can have it as a manual mode. You can have it so it changes the aperture if you switch it, rather than changes the focus with the dial here. You can actually change how fast the autofocus reacts. I've put it about average, about the middle speed. I didn't want it too fast because I want that more nice change, more like you would if you were manually focusing. So there's plenty of options you can have with this small little lens. And because it's so small and light, it's very good on gimbals as well. Not that I'd probably want to use a 75mm on a gimbal, but you can if you do want to. And also, excuse me if I sound a bit, I've got a bit of a cold, so I'll probably look a bit worse for wear as well. This lens is really good for close-ups. Probably a bit too close for in here, as you can see, but you can also make it a bit wider with the anamorphic adapter that goes onto it as well. So all the series are light. They all come around this size, except for the 100mm, and the 20mm is a bit different because it's got a slightly protruding element at the front. So for me, I think the 75 is best for close-ups and portrait. But of course, you can break the rules. You can use it for anything you deem usable for. It's got a very, very smooth bokeh, which I like a lot. The fall off is very nice. So it's very good for low light, a T1.9 aperture. And because it comes in a set of lenses, something I find very, very important, it actually matches the set. So I'll give you an example here now of the 24mm, the 35mm, the 45mm and the 75mm. And you can see how they match against each other. They're all on S-Log Cine Gambit 3. I haven't changed any of the grading. It's got the same grade on all the lenses. The only thing that might change slightly is it was filmed during daylight. So this is on the 75mm. This is what 75mm looks like. I'm now going to change it to something else. So this is on the 45 and this is what the 45mm looks like. So this is on the 35mm and this is what the 35mm looks like. So this is 24mm and this is what 24mm looks like. And as you can tell, a lot more space. They should all match very well, and to my eyes they do. And I think this is very, very important when it comes to video or cinema lenses. I've come across a few sets in the past that the colour does change. Some are warmer and some are cooler than the others. But this price range, they're all around, in the UK, around £500. Varying a bit more, a bit less, but around that price range. It does compete well with other lenses such as the Sony 85mm. That lens is one of my favourites. I've done a video about it, but it is getting slightly older, so you might find the autofocus on the Samyang will keep up with it. And also it has a very beautiful image, as I said, and I think it does match pretty well actually with the 85mm. Slightly different colouring, but definitely an option to look at if you're looking at a lens in that kind of range. It can be used for photography. It's very, very sharp, and a lens I wouldn't mind using for photos at all, really. And because it's so light, it's excellent for travel as well. It does have weather sealing, which makes it even better for that. I think it's great for a videographer who wants to use it for portrait or close-up style shots, or something where you want to get the maximum bokeh with it. It's very good for a videographer who wants to rely on autofocus and not manual focus all the time. But you do have the options, if you do want to use manual focus, to actually put some attachments on the front, which is another thing these lenses are very good for. If you look at the front here, you'll see it's got these points here. These are for attaching other devices. For example, you can put a manual focus point on the front, or, as I have here, you can put this on. And this is an anamorphic adapter. So if I put the anamorphic adapter on, it's actually very, very easy. So you just need to line this up with the lens. You hear the click there, it's lined up. So as a switch underneath, you can just switch that here, and then you have an anamorphic lens. Unfortunately, it does make it a lot heavier because it's one of its strong points. It's a very light lens, and now this is a very big lens. Lovely anamorphic look. I'm holding it here, it's actually very heavy, which is a shame. But the great thing about the adapter and I've done a video on that, is that you can put it on the other lenses except for the 24 and the 20mm, and you can convert them all to anamorphic. So you buy the adapter once and then you've got a whole set of anamorphic lenses. But overall, I really like the lens. I've had a couple of times where it's lost focus, but it's not very common. But I've had other lenses do that, including Sony lenses. I'm using 24mm now and it hasn't lost my face at all that whole time. Maybe go back and look at some of the other videos of my VF lenses. I'm quite a big fan of this series for the price and what it does. I think they're absolutely great. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.